And that's why I'm kind of embracing AI, especially in photography. I think when you think about AI and photography, you think the two cannot go together. And there's nothing that could be further from the truth. Now, I'm not saying to create the image from nothing. I'm saying enhance what you've done and make the processes that you use better.
Hey, I'm Chris. Welcome to Capturing Chris, my testing grounds for new ideas in travel, photography, and exciting destinations, one frame at a time.
So it's day 9 of the 365-day challenge. Still in pre-week for the Gary Vee 8-week challenge with Stan. Today I wanted to talk about AI. You know, it amazes me, and I am so immersed in it. And the more I use it, the more impressive and amazing it is. But then I listen to all these people who say, it's ruining this or that, or, it's making us not think, or it's hurting our brains. And some of these people are scientists that study this stuff, and they probably truly believe it. But a lot of it is people repeating a headline they heard, and they've just decided that AI is bad. I'm often, if you've listened to this channel at all, you know that I listen to Gary Vee a lot. And one of his main things a couple years ago was testing when someone said they didn't like something, whether they'd actually tried it. And so there's a pretty good one where he's talking to someone and he's like, "Do you like oysters?" And they're like, "No." And he's like, "Have you ever had an oyster?" They're like, "Come to think of it, I haven't, but I don't think I'm going to like them." He shared a story about, I didn't think I was going to like them either, but I love them because I actually tried them. So I gave them a shot. And that is more the way I think of AI right now. In that a lot of people, morning, are giving it a shot, a cursory look, and then deciding, oh, it's stupid, it doesn't work. It didn't give me what I needed. But they're not like spending an hour or even 20 minutes to go on YouTube and find out how to use AI. I mean, if you want to best use AI, tell chat what you're trying to accomplish. Hit the microphone button. You don't have to type it. You can just talk to it and talk to it like you would a person. And I know that's weird for people, but you know what? It's where we're at. And you use talk to text on your phone all the time. It's no different. The only thing is, this thing's smart enough to talk back to you. So tell it what you want to do and get as specific as possible when you're telling it what you're trying to accomplish, what you're trying to do, what you've tried, what didn't work, what your end goal is, what type of situation you're trying to use the solution in. It has to know all that, or it's not going to give you the best answer it can. And if you do that, you're going to have a much better experience with chat than someone that's using it like Google. Chat is not Google. You don't just ask it a common short question and get the answer you want. And it's odd to me because normally this is a older person hang up. But there are a lot of younger people that don't like AI either. My daughter's trying to get a new job as a server/bartender. And so she put her resume together. And I was super busy yesterday. So I really didn't have time to help her change it. So I just threw it in the chat. I'm like, can you make this better? And 10 seconds later, and I said, my daughter's trying to get a new job at some restaurants. Can you make this better? 10 seconds later, it pops out this well-formatted, amazing looking resume. While her resume looked like it was functional. It produced the results that it got the point across, but it wasn't aesthetically pleasing. It didn't kind of wow you. The descriptions of what she had done didn't really do her justice. Now this new version, a little longer, it looks a little more spiffy, I suppose. It's formatted well. It's utilizing different fonts, all this stuff that a graphic designer might do, or the stuff that a resume writer might do. So if you're a resume writer, you need to be watching these videos because you might need to find a different career. Same with logos. When I first started one of my companies, I paid $100 for 5 logos, and I told the person what I wanted. Then I just redid my Capture by CK logo and told him what I was trying to do, shared with him the color that I was kind of thinking. I say him because I use a male voice. And it popped it out quickly. No $100 spent on that logo. More like $20 a month. Nonetheless. So this resume comes out. It looks great. I send it to her. I'm like, hey, she wants me to print them because she's going door to door, which as a father, seeing that kind of dedication is amazing because she wants a new job. She needs more money. She's 23, has a son that's will be 3 in January. So that was a nice moment. And those of you who are parents know exactly what I'm talking about. But so I sent her this video, and I'm like, hey, you want me to print this one instead? Made a few improvements. And she's like, didn't answer. So I go upstairs. I'm like, hey, did you see that resume? She goes, yeah, where'd it come from? I'm like, well, why does it matter where it came from? She goes, it looks a little fake, like you used AI. And she knows damn well I used AI because I use AI every day. I'm like, well, I don't know about fake. I'm like, I think it made your experience sound a little better, and it's probably formatted the way that's more pleasing. And she's like, print both. So her mom is very anti-AI, drives me nuts because being anti something that you don't understand aggravates me. But I'm like, okay. But, she needs me to print it. For some reason, she can't use the printer correctly. So I'm annoyed because I'm in the middle of trying to get these tiny offers out, and not out, but completed. I leave in 6 days, so there's a little sense of urgency going on. But I stop and I print it, and I print one of each. And I take it back up to her. I'm like, before I print 20 of these, I just want to make sure that you're committed to both these designs. She goes, yeah, the one that you did looks better. I'm like, why is that a bad thing? I'm like, it didn't add anything, didn't hallucinate about your experience. She might have hallucinated a little bit about her experience, but it did not. She's like, she said, I just don't want people thinking that I'm lazy. And I think this AI has been demonized to where it's such a bad thing, but it's doing so much good stuff. I just do not understand it. Gary Vee will talk about how electricity was demonized when it first came out. People thought it brought demons into the house. It's not. I'm sure there are some people that think that AI is a demon. Because it's freaky when you think about it. I mean, it listens to what you're saying. It gives you a good answer, a plausible answer, most of the time a true answer to the question you're asking. And that's very futuristic to us. But, 100 years ago, flying a plane at 700 miles an hour was very futuristic to us. So just because it's futuristic doesn't mean it's bad. And that's why I'm kind of embracing AI, especially in photography. I think when you think about AI and photography, you think the two cannot go together. And there's nothing that could be further from the truth. Now, I'm not saying to create the image from nothing. I'm saying enhance what you've done and make the processes that you use better or easier or quicker. All those things to me are better. And just because I'm using AI, I can be the best photographer in the world. And if I'm using AI to figure out how to get better settings, I'm not cheating the system. If I'm using a program that allows me to change those settings, I'm just getting a quicker answer to the best way to manipulate the program, which, by the way, is manipulating the picture in many, many, many cases. So let's be clear about that. We've been using AI for a long time. Denoise, AI. Extra saturation, AI. The same shit. So these loyalists, and you have a right to your opinion. If you want to be a photographer that doesn't use AI, then I hope, just for your own integrity, you're not using a processing system, because if you are, you're just cheating the system in another way by your technical version of cheating. But I'm putting together these courses, and I'm using AI to do that. And as I do that, I'm getting better workflow. So even with my remedial experience, I'm able to accomplish more in a day than I would have been able to accomplish in a week. Not only that, but I'm able to word stuff better. I was telling a friend of mine yesterday, oh my God, I always did not like English. I liked writing stories, but I didn't have the ability to pin down everything that you needed to have a good story. I had that storyline and the idea down pretty good and the characters, but I didn't understand how to translate that into a readable, interactive, engaging format. But now with AI, I can do all those things because I can describe to it what I'm trying to accomplish. Now, if you have two people that use AI well and gave them the same assignment, the same goal, it's like, oh, here's the base story, write a story about this. And they both use AI. Let's say they both use ChatGPT. Here's our friend hunting for snails. And if they both use ChatGPT, the stories are still going to be very different depending on the way that they guide and use AI. Now, yes, there are some people that could be, I need a funny, exciting story about a man trapped on a boat. Enter and make it good. And it's going to give you something, and it will probably be pretty good. You can tell what style to write in or something, but it's not going to be your story. It's not going to be your story. But if you tell it what you want and how you want the character to develop, then go back and read it and then say, I don't like what we did here, which is what I do with my courses. It forgets stuff. It has idea. It doesn't have the same ideas I have. I mean, I have 40 years of sales experience. On the resumes, I've probably hired 600 people throughout my career. So I know a thing or two about looking at resumes, especially when I'm in a hurry. Now, I was never under the pressure a restaurant manager is under to hire someone quickly and try and hope that they stay, especially without, it's, not tourist season right now, so the pay is a little lower, than chips are down and all this other crazy stuff. But I do know when I had a territory open, sometimes I get 30 resumes. And when I got a good resume, I wasn't like, oh, I wonder if this person used a resume service. I was like, oh, wow, I need to interview this person because their resume looks amazing. They put some time and effort into it. So clearly their quality of work is going to be better. And that's kind of, a resume is your first test. And you can take the first draft of the resume from AI, or you can work with it, continue to make it better and come up with an amazing finished product. The same is true with the tiny offers and the mini courses. I still have to do the videos. I was having to do some before and after illustrations of the for the tiny course of Airbnbs. and I needed a bad picture of an Airbnb. And I kept asking it to go on Airbnb site and find a bad picture. And it found a couple, but finally I'm like, oh, screw it. I'll go in there and capture it myself. And, unfortunately, on Airbnb, it's not hard to find some bad pictures. So that's why I believe that this How to Take Better Airbnb Picture course is something that's needed, will provide value. What I'm going to do, sooner or later, maybe after my trip to Maine, I'm going to do a couple videos on the top 10 mistakes and this, that, and the other thing that Airbnb hosts make. Because there's the super hosts who really have it down. And there's the hosts that have like amazing reviews, 5s and 4 9s and 600 of them. But yet their pictures are still horrible. And I guess they're thinking that their pictures don't matter. But it's been my experience, they do. And when I look at Airbnb properties, I'm looking at price, I'm looking at pictures, I'm looking at reviews, and I'm looking at location. And depending on what I'm trying to accomplish, it can have different priorities for me. So they could be missing people whose priorities are good pictures because they have horrible pictures. I mean, they're fact. And they could look so good with just a couple tweaks or hints. So look for that coming. Hopefully the Airbnb owners will find it useful. But that's my rant for AI on AI for today. Just like you'll be so happy if you start posting and start making videos, you'll be equally as happy if you start using AI. If nothing else, to learn how to use the programs you need to use. They're confusing. I know I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I get in these things where I'll finally go back to the AI and I'll be like, hey, chat, how do I do this in Canva? And it tells me. And I'm like, yeah, that didn't work. I tried that. And then it's like, oh, you're right, it won't work. Huh, I don't know. So it doesn't know everything. So sometimes you have to find a solution that even it doesn't know. But you don't know if you don't ask. And normally when that happens, I'm like, will you just do it for me in your framework? And usually it can, even though it's told me 10 times it can't. So challenge it. When it says it can't do something, then say, hey, no, I think you can. Or tell us to do some deep research on how to do it so it knows how. And sometimes that's helpful. Or ask it to give you a prompt that will better direct it on how to do it. So, which plug my offer for 50 AI prompts if you sign up for my AI and photography newsletter. They're useful. And there is a hero prompt that if you just use it as you start this, you'll be so happy. So sign up for the newsletter, greatly appreciate it. And I hope this video was semi-helpful. I know it was all over the place, but in the end, It's all about posting, all about getting better, all about being the best you can. And in most cases, AI, not a burden to do that. It saves you a lot of time. And if you're not using it, you're going to get left behind. And this is a hard enough thing to start. The last thing you need is getting burned out because you can't keep up the pace of the thumbnails and the editing. This video sounds so good. Or sounds, let me strike that. This video sounds better than it would have because I used Adobe Sound Enhance. And what Sound Enhance does, Audio Enhance, is it makes my voice sound the way it's supposed to sound. And because I don't know how to do that on a computer, it does it for me. And it does it for me as long as my sound file is less than 1 gigabyte. And if you're using CapCut and you're exporting videos to go to YouTube, it also sets up an audio file, which if your file's too big, you can send that audio file to Adobe Audio Enhance, download it, save it, put it back in to CapCut, mute the old sound, use the new sound, and you'll have amazing sound. Now, it's gonna take out sounds like this car going by, and it will probably take out the birds chirping. So if you want the birds chirping, save that in a file for another day. Have a good one. And then add it at the end. And it removes your background music unless you turn up the background noise. So what I've been doing is I export it at like a very low resolution because it doesn't affect the sound. That way it exports quickly. Then I put it back into CapCut, and then I export it at 4K. It's kind of made my process of how I get better sound easier because CapCut on these 30-minute files, and this one won't be 30 minutes, is extremely slow. And if you cut it, then it applies enhancing features to each cut. And yesterday I had like 110 processes going on. It took all day. I didn't get my videos loaded last night till like 9 o'clock. And I started at like 8 a.m. Thank goodness I already had the thumbnail done. But, so just another way that AI enhances or helps with the workflow. So embrace AI. Start your first video and see where this journey takes you. And if you want, join me on the Stan Thorpe Challenge. I mean, I'm learning a lot about digital products, about coaching, about how to set up mini seminars, or mini courses and main courses, pricing, and of course, all with the help of AI, because I wouldn't know where to start with my pricing. So I ask it, what's the average price for this type of thing? And it tells me, gives me a range, and see where it leads you. I hope you found this valuable. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Greatly appreciate questions. No one's had any questions yet, which I find hard to believe. But the other thing is, if you like the content and want to follow me on my journey, because it's a journey. I'm in no way an expert. But if you want to follow me on my YouTube and Stan Store journey to see if digital products are for you, to see how you might be able to increase your income a little bit, please do so. I greatly appreciate it. And we'll talk to you very soon. Have a great day.
This is where I experiment. If you want to see the real side of the journey and some exciting destinations along the way, subscribe now and follow along. Don't miss the next video. Hit subscribe.